What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the 5 takeaways for Game 3 of the Carolina basketball season. A 72-66 win against Gardner-Webb, the running Bulldogs. I don't know if you could hear them barking during free throws, whatever. I'm going to try and shake things up a little bit today, go a lot quicker, more rapid reactions, and less of like a podcast think piece. I have had a full, 18 hours to kind of digest the game, but thought I'd shake it up a little bit with the pace of these videos. So let's just jump right into it. Like I said, Carolina wins 72-66. Our first box of the day is a red box. Red box for consistency. And consistency could honestly kind of shape and mold everything we talk about today. Almost every box I gave or could have given has to do with consistency. Certain players, they play good for a little bit and then they kind of disappear, or you forget that they're on the floor, or they keep missing shots, right? Certain things we do well, like defensive intensity or rebounding, like we do it and we show flashes, but we can't seem to do it for a full 40 minutes yet. I've said this now, this is the fourth video in a row. I've said we will play really good teams this year. We'll play teams that could be bigger than us, could even be better than us. If you're not able to play a full 40 minutes or even, 30, 35 minutes at your full potential, they will take advantage of that, and Carolina will lose some games. We're the number one team, or we're supposed to be, right? So some of this stuff might sound a little nitpicky, but I just think we haven't really shown that we can play to our full potential for 40 minutes. So overarching consistency has been bad in this young season for Carolina basketball. Jumping into our second box, it's a green box for Pete Nance. Hooray, Pete Nance showed up. He's here to stay. He showed us exactly what he can bring to the table. He can shoot threes just like Brady Manick can, but he can also back you down in the post and then turn around with a nice fadeaway jumper. He can bring blocks. He can have assists. He's just a big presence that kind of, you can already see, just fits into the mold and style of what Carolina basketball wants to do this year. This was the missing link, quote unquote, that we thought we had to replace. Still waiting for Puff Johnson to make his season debut. He's supposed to do that maybe in Portland next week. Still seeing flashes from the sophomores, Dunn and Styles, and some of the freshmen like Trimble and Nickel, and Jalen Washington hasn't even started playing yet. But Pete Nance was, you can come in, you're a grad transfer, you know what you're doing. Supposed to be the smoothest transition. First two games, meh. Today, perfect, awesome. Green box for Pete Nance. That first half in particular. Oh, shout out Jaden Coleman. Third box of the day is a yellow box for our offense. Low assist numbers again. We had 8 total as a team. We lost the points in the paint battle, 32-14. I'm pretty sure it was like 14-2 or 18-2 at one point in favor of Gardner-Webb. Not ideal. Shot 29% from the field in the first half for 26 points total in the first half. Thank goodness for Pete Nance showing up and scoring a lot of those. Then we doubled those points, right? Going back to consistency. We had 52 points with 10 minutes to go in the second half, and we finished with 72. So it's like some of those shots kind of rimmed out. Leaky had a couple threes in and out. Not saying the shot selection was bad. Shots just didn't go in. Until they did in that spurt, start the second half, and everything looked fine. And then those shots stopped falling again and cause for concern. So that's why it's a yellow box. We'd like to be scoring more, especially looking ahead to our game on Sunday against James Madison. They have been scoring a bunch of points, over 100 a couple times, I think, or up there. 72 points might not cut it against JMU, and it certainly won't cut it against more elite offenses in the country. Can we come out the gates in the first half, in the first 5 minutes, like we did in the second half? I've been asking all season, can we just get up on a team 12-2 and make them call a timeout before the under 16? That's all I want to see. We seem to be a second half team, but still, if we could get a little bit more offensive consistency, it would be great. Yellow box because there were flashes, but not ideal. Fourth box of the day, green box for Caleb Love. I've said this already, it feels like so many times in this video. See what we saw from him in the first 10 minutes of that first half, when it was step back 3 and nice layup off the glass and 3 assists as well in that time frame. If we could see that the whole game, of course, that would be awesome. I'm not asking every single player to be perfect the entire game. And that's why I'm giving a green for Caleb, because I think we should recognize that for a few minutes there, he looked like a top 5 NBA draft pick. I mean, he was just awesome. It's easy to always ask more from him and from our other stars and just every player in general. Like, oh, well, if you could do this for this amount of time, why can't you do it every minute of every game that you ever play in? Not that easy. So I think as a team, we could improve our offensive consistency. On the individual level, I am cautious about saying be your best self all the time. It's a nice goal, but I still want to give just props, a green for Caleb there. So Box number 4, Caleb Love, green box. And lastly, I'm going to end on a green, which might be too many greens for a game like this where the negative Nancy's on Twitter are already calling for a lack of intensity and people asking for a loss, like wanting a loss to kind of humble the team or set a fire under them or whatever, which is just beyond me. I understand kind of the resetting of the mentality. I don't understand the humbling because we weren't great last year for a lot of the season. And I don't understand asking for a loss when you're rooting for a team. I just don't get that. It's going to be a green box for finishing games. That whole spiel was trying to say maybe some people would think this is too many green boxes for a game that didn't go as smoothly or as well as a lot of people would have liked to see. However, I think these are early season tests that Carolina is passing, and passing because they're winning the games. Do they look great? No. I mean, you look at Louisville, 0-3, lost all their games, I believe, by 1 point. TCU lost the other day. Syracuse lost last night. Kentucky, Tennessee also ranked and losing games. Gonzaga struggled with Michigan State. Got a school bus out there. I mean, every game theoretically is a test, and so far we've passed them all, albeit a little shakily, right? Like a couple years ago, it seemed like we were always on the wrong side, the losing side of these close games where, oh, there would be a corner 3 from somebody that would tie the game and send it into overtime, and we'd eventually lose it in overtime. I'm okay with winning these. Why is Gardner-Webb still losing by only 6 points games? I don't care. I mean, me personally, I'd rather 3 meh victories than 2 blowout wins and a loss. I think regardless, the team will learn and grow from mistakes and challenges, but you can't change the record. I'd rather be 3-0 with opportunities to grow and learn than 2-1 or 1-2 or 0-3 like Louisville. So again, green box for finishing these games off under 2 minutes, securing a win, doing whatever you need to do, making your free throws, whatever, breaking the press, and weathering these early storms of games. No, we don't look great. Yes, we're 3-0. Those two things are more than okay for the third week in November and the third game of the season. That's going to be it for today's video. 5 boxes, 3 greens, 3 wins, 3-0. Thanks so much for watching. If you're talking to someone this week, you just go ahead and mention this video, especially if you weren't talking about Carolina basketball or college basketball or even sports in general. Just tell them to check this out. That'd be much appreciated. Bring on JMU on Sunday. Go Heels.